For the next game, going with the Panthers at Cowboys. And this line, it's 50.5. The Cowboys favored -5. The Cowboys, they looked really good on Monday night, but it was against a dysfunctional Philly franchise. And the Panthers, they're 3-0, but they have faced the Texans, the Jets, and with their only real matchup coming against the Saints in week 2. But they have one of the best defenses in the league right now in a bunch of statistical categories. But this is going to be their hardest matchup yet with the Dallas Cowboys, especially with their high-powered offense. The Panthers, they haven't trailed at all this season. I definitely see that changing this week so far. The Dallas Cowboys, they have such a high-powered offense. I can't see them keeping points off the board, minus some, interceptions or some mistakes that they would beat themselves at. But the Panthers, they look good. They're missing some highly key starters, which is going to be really concerning for this game. They looked like they were going to lose last week versus the Texans, which was very concerning, but they lost Christian McCaffrey and their first-round draft pick, J.C. Horn. On the bright side, since Horn got injured, he does seem to be out for the season. Carolina, they traded for the former first-round pick, C.J. Henderson from Jacksonville, like I was saying earlier. So this is going to help their secondary regardless. Carolina does not have a great offensive line. And it's going to show more with Christian McCaffrey out, with the rookie Chuba Hubbard playing. And I think it's going to kind of show a little bit more how they feel and how they play. But the Cowboys, they're going to win. Sam Darnold, he might have a great game, but that's because the Cowboys' pass defense isn't the greatest. Their rushing attack and ability to attack the quarterback is very good, especially with Micah Parsons being used in the pass rush. And one of the funniest things this week that happened so far is that Jerry Jones said he's about as natural as mother's milk. And then, which is like the weirdest thing, he's about as pure as mother's milk, which is the creepiest thing. Jerry, get your shit together. But the Cowboys are a team where it would be hard to take the under in any game that they play. Even with the Philadelphia game, they were able to score 62 points in a game where the Eagles were not able to get anything going. So the Cowboys are going to win convincingly. The Cowboys are -5. I think that this is going to be a game where the Panthers, they catch up in garbage time. They're going to be pressured. They're not going to be able to throw the ball as much until it becomes garbage time. That's where Sam Darnold's going to be able to get a lot of his passing yards. Just like last week with Jalen Hurts, he ended up, playing like a ass in the beginning of the game with the really bad play calling from Nick Sirianni. But Cowboys -5. I'm locking that in. This is one of my favorite plays this week. Next game, Colts, Dolphins. Colts, they absolutely need to win. They're in desperation mode. Last week, they started Carson Wentz, which was just such a weird game for him. He was looking scared. But both these teams at the beginning of the year, these are teams that they're in divisions where they have playoff aspirations. They could have made it. The Dolphins were the clear number 2 in that division, with the Bills being number 1 and the Colts with the Titans. But they could still make a run at the wild card. I doubt that for the Colts, because I couldn't tell you the last team to start 0-3 to go to the Super Bowl or even go to the playoffs. Last year, no 0-2 team even made the playoffs. So it was really weird. Last week was a weird game with the Dolphins. They were close to winning last week in an overtime thriller versus the Raiders. Then they fell 0-2, fell 1-2. And last week, they scored 11 points in the fourth quarter, and they scored all their other points in the first quarter, and then were just studs in the second and the third. So this week it's going to be a little weird, but the Dolphins did look way better than expected, and Jacoby Brissett looked way better after getting the first team reps after a whole week, getting the first team reps for a whole week since Tua is out. Miami, the strength for Miami was supposed to be the defense at the beginning of the season, but now they're allowing 27.3 points per game, which is 23 in the league. Last week, Carson Wentz, he looked scared to take a hit. He was dumping passes off into the ground as soon as the defender came towards him. He was really quick to throw the ball away, and I was really surprised that he started because he had 2 injured ankles, which is hard to walk on, I am assuming. But with Brett Hundley as your backup quarterback, Wentz is probably the best quarterback that would give you the best chance to win. But he did look bad, only completing 51% of his passes. I don't think he's 100% healthy yet. He's still going to be dumping those balls off to the ground, to tight ends. Mike Gesicki is going to have a good game for the Dolphins. But the Colts, they're kind of a weird game where this is a weird game where I don't trust either team, but I trust the Colts less. And I think the Dolphins -2.5 has good value, but I have a hard time trusting each team at all. So I'm staying away from this game 100%.